What a day! Finally, we see INEOS Team UK get a win on the board. We have a regatta, everybody, and I'm so excited that this is going to be one hell of a Prada Cup final if things keep going the way that they are. My name's Nick Douglas. So fantastic to be here with you for our chat and wrap show, our debrief of today's racing. Wow. After the first race today, when Rossa took the win, I was thinking, uh-oh, it's all done. But not to disappoint. Thank you, INEOS Team UK, for coming back with a vengeance and taking that pre-start and then the win. There seems to be a bit of a pattern developing here. Win the start, win the race. It is something that we've come to expect in match racing. So, you know, that doesn't surprise me at all, really. So, you know, thanks to everybody for pointing that out in all of the comments. Just win the start, win the race. Lead back, win the race. Could it be that simple? I guess we'll have to wait and see. But let's get straight into the racing review for today, and we'll go from there. Here we go. Thank you so much to the ACE and the COR for providing us with this footage. Beautiful day in Auckland, though a little quiet. And the masks were on, operating under level 2 COVID restrictions in New Zealand. So not nearly as many people in the village, but that's okay. Plenty of spectators out on the water, however. Socially distanced, of course, via anchor. It was a brilliant start. INEOS tried to slip their way in there. It was deemed they were too close. Both boats were over, therefore cancelling that penalty, but INEOS did get a penalty for not keeping clear. And here at this first cross, it was deemed that INEOS had gained an advantage from that, so they were given a second penalty. Around the top mark, the delta was quite close the first time around, but we saw Rossa not give an inch, and they extended to win by 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic race, but obviously Jimmy did most of the job on that time on distance, and he did very well. As I said, textbook for me.
Yeah, well, we just got to keep plugging away. I mean, it's tough. We're obviously struggling in terms of straight line performance, so we've got to push it hard to try and make something happen.
So it went to 5-0, as I said, and wow, I mean, beautiful pre-starts from Rossa, Prada, Pirelli. I really thought that in that first race today we would see Ben Ainslie going hard and really bringing it to Rossa. That said, I completely understand that operating these machines is incredibly difficult, but this is the highest level, and this is the Challenger Series to see who will face the defender. Let's not forget that, guys. So the more racing we see, the better whoever the challenger is will be prepared to take on Emirates Team New Zealand, and we will see a fantastic cup match. So that's why I get so excited. I'm not biased either way, really. So, second race. Let's get into it. And finally, we saw a change in the setup for INEOS Team UK.
Up hard. That's good, racing.
Jimmy tried to push.
All good, guys, all good.
We'll see him wiggling around here. All good from Ben Ainslie. The time on distance was good. The left-hand shift was good. It went from 2:45 to 2:25 from race 5 to race 6. And it was close. It was tight. Lots of covers, this time from INEOS. Nice to see that reversed. It was very close all the way through to the finish. Only 9 seconds at the last top mark. But they went on to win by 14 seconds and get their first win, taking the scores to 5-1.
Yeah, we're a bit happier with a win than been on the wrong side of it last few days of racing. So guys did a great job, just, you know, they're not going to give up, these boys, going to keep fighting all the way. So get one back is what we needed.
Yeah, it was a great race. I thought the boys did a great job, really nice manoeuvres. Pretty steady, you know, the pressure in the end. But yeah, great race. Full credit to INEOS for getting that one.
they went home. I love the way that they tow out of the water, a speedy trip in. And of course, we saw the scores go to 5-1 today. There it is. 5 wins in a row for Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli. 1 for INEOS Team UK. There are only 2 races left to win for Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli, and 6 for INEOS Team UK. Oof, it's going to be light tomorrow. I think what we'll do is have a little bit of a look at the interviews with each of the tacticians and skippers or helms that came to the press conference. And then we'll have a little bit of a look at the weather for tomorrow and what we can expect, if that works for everyone. And hello to Raphael, Mark, and also Nick Ward. Here is Giles Scott.
Well, I think it was we're both boats trying to win that starboard end, and on board our boat we were talking about whether or not we thought the other boat could hold out on that starboard ley line. We were erring towards them not being able to hold, but as it panned out, they did. They just about clung onto it, and we ended up coming together really close. Both boats over the start line, and penalty fell on us. So yeah, close one, frustrating one for sure. Oh well, it's massive. We want to take this series all the way, and we absolutely still got our sights on winning this. Luna Rossa are 5-1 up now. It's in their favour. They've got 2 to win, and we've got 6. It's simple as that. If we get through tomorrow in that light breeze, it's a big change in the weather. So yeah, I think that's what we've got our sights on. Get through tomorrow and get into some windy racing. Well, it's tricky in the light. It's a bit of a balancing act, and I think when Luna Rossa are in front, they don't give you an inch. They clearly feel very confident in their ability of manoeuvring in the light wind. And I think what you saw in our race was where we were out in front of that second was that we had to sail the breeze a little bit more, give them a little bit of space, and not be overly aggressive. So yeah, it was a bit of a balancing act, and it was very nice to be able to get on the right side of that, get off the start in front, and stay there.
Fantastic. It was nice to see them have a good race, and I had a few Italians call me biased today. I've had UK people call me biased. I've had everybody call me biased, and honestly, guys, I'm just here to watch some fantastic racing, and what is good for the sport is the maximum amount of races. So let's get on board with that. Very excited. But as Giles said, great to see them get a win. It will be tricky tomorrow, so we'll have a little bit of a look at the weather in just a minute. But now let's hear from Pietro Civello, who is doing the strategy or the breeze calls on board Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli with the dual helm setup, rather, of course, Francesco Bruni and James Jimmy Spithill. Here is Civello.
I think nothing has really changed so far, because every day we try to improve. Every day we think about the race of the next day. So same will be today. We come back with a great day of sailing. It was impressive to see all the boats out watching the race, and that's really important for our sport. And I think we had the big learnings today. The guy INEOS did a very great race in the second one. Perfect start, and they were on the right side, left side of the course. That was the good one. So, but we worked really hard to keep the distance very close, and I think that's really important, to keep trying every time everything you can. And yeah, so tomorrow we will be stronger than today and have another race. Yeah, I think that's the big job that the team did in the last months. Since we started the racing, we had a better picture about what you need and how you need to sail the AC75. And I think the team did a great job improving that every day. And yeah, the boat sails really, really nicely. Today was also a very good day of sailing because the wind was quite steady and the boat was easy to sail, flat water. But yeah, we are very happy about our boat. For sure, we know these guys, and they will never give up. So we need to be stronger every day and keep working as hard as possible and keep improving ourselves. And I'm confident the team is doing this, so it's good.
That is Pietro Sabello, an integral part of the Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli team. He's the guy running around the back of the boom, actually swapping sides to then help whoever is helming at the time with some breeze calls. So he's sort of the dedicated strategist, so to speak, and also helping with the main trim. So yeah, fantastic. Just a bit of a shout out to a few people before we get on to the next interviews. So great to see you, Nick Ward, John Gleese, Lovey Troffo, Andrew, James Pritchard's getting a call out from Sim. And Mark Gilly says, g'day, and be more poppy. Exactly, be more poppy. Maybe we need to show that clip again. Where is it? I'm going to find it. Be more poppy. That's what it's all about. Where is it? I'm going to find it. There it is. Here we go. This is what we're talking about when we say be more poppy.
Hi everyone, Tor here for Adventures of a Sailor Girl. I've got a little fan here who is getting behind one of the teams today. What's your name?
Poppy.
And who do you want to win today, Poppy?
The Mountains Top.
That's who we're all cheering, is the America's Cup. We want more people sailing more often and more races. That's what we want. But honestly, great racing today, and great to see that there is the balance there once the breeze gets up to about 12-15 knots. First race, 8 to 10 knots. Second race was 10 to 12 knots, so a little increase there. INEOS actually stayed with their largest sail. We saw Luna Rossa change down to a J2, or definitely a smaller sail than INEOS Team UK from what I can gather. So was that the difference? I'm not sure. Let's listen to the interview with Jimmy Spithill recapping today's racing as the helm on the starboard side for Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli.
Yeah, I thought it was a great day racing. Two good races. First one, I was sort of over at the start. Second one, pretty even. It sounded like both teams wanted something a little different. They kind of liked the left, we kind of liked the right. Pretty even track. They were able to just get the cross. And from then on, the lead boat really sort of had a little advantage and could pick and choose. But I thought we did a good job just keeping it close, good damage control. Just one mistake away, really, from a lead change. Yeah, I mean, the starts are always pretty important in the America's Cup. I mean, if you can get a jump off the line, that can really be, really improve your chances of a win. But what it really does is give you essentially first choice as to where you position the boat, and especially with these gate marks, trying to get a bit of a gain. So yeah, sure, the start's important. Both teams are putting a lot of time and energy into it. And it's something that's changing all the time. I mean, we're learning every single time we go into a real race and a real start. Yeah, I think the boat's gotten a lot faster since the round robins. I think the guys have done a good job. I think the way the boat's been sailed is much better now, and our decision making, I think bringing Pietro into the mix has been a big improvement, and it's something each race we get better and better. The second race was a huge learning curve, and I thought we sailed a very, very good race. Not a lot I would have changed really, except for the big left shift out of the start. So yeah, it was great to just build on that relationship, and I think the package is going well. Oh, we don't look at the score line at all, ahead or behind, and I've been in the position of being ahead and behind a few times. You really can only approach a series like this one at a time. Future history doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is the next race. Put all your time and energy into that, and then you take it from there.
I think I said the exact same thing on Clubhouse today. If you haven't joined Clubhouse yet, I encourage you to have a look and get involved. It's very awesome. It's like a live TED Talk or a live podcast that you can actually get involved with and ask questions of hosts and guests. So I've been on there hosting, and today Anne-Marie Ross jumped on, which was quite fun. He's friends with Shannon Falcone, who was on a few days ago. You can see that recording. We had a whole hour with Shannon while he was in the gym, which was fantastic. You can check that out on SoundCloud, iTunes or Spotify under the Sailor Girl channels. But yeah, the only thing that's important in match racing is winning the race. And if you don't win that race, you have to win the next one. So, I think people might think the pressure's on Ben more or the pressure's on Jimmy more. Well, the pressure's the same, because when they go off that start line, they both have to win that race. They both have to get a point. Otherwise, it's nothing. And from there, you can't build. So the momentum that's in play, everything is always starting again. It's quite crazy. That said, Luna Rossa only have to win 2 more races, whereas INEOS have to win 6 more. So it's a really interesting part of our sport, actually, to go over and to realise what the psychology is, though, because literally every race is just like the race before it. You have to win. And it might sound simple, but all you have to do is win the start, get to the first shift first, and then stay in between the next mark and your opposition. And if you can do that, you'll win the race. Executing it, as we've seen, is pretty difficult. But I was really happy to see INEOS get a good pre-start. And Mark Husted says, yep, the cat and mouse start box, exactly. But what we've been seeing in every single race is the mouse actually wins the start. The one who chooses to run back to the start line first and protect that side, because then I think you get to the boundary and you're ultimately then going to be in that position. So is it that simple? I'm not sure. It might be above my pay grade, but it seems like that is what's starting to eventuate, and I'm not the only person who's picked up on that. So that left-hand shift as well was helpful, but you had to be on that side to take advantage of it. So some great racing from Luna Rossa, Prada, Pirelli. I said of their first race that they were just slick. And in their second race, they were also still smooth. But as we saw in the first 5 races, it's hard to win from behind. It's incredibly difficult to come through when you've got someone as classy as Jimmy Spithill and Francesco and Sabello and their amazing outfit in front of you, trying to stop you from getting past them. The same said when it's reversed. If you've got Ben Ainslie and Charles and his incredible outfit in front of you, it's hard to get past. So that's why the start is so important. It doesn't just come down to speed or tactics, it's both. And getting in front right when you can, right at that point when the gun goes. So, yeah, I was loving today. It was really fun. And also seeing them covering downwind. But let's have a listen to what Ben Ainslie had to say about today and getting a win on the board and what that means for the team.
Well, the winds were quite light and we knew we were going to have a lot on to beat Luna Rossa in a straight line race. There was quite a lot more breeze on the right hand side of the course. They were the port entry boat, so they really had control of the time turning back to that start. And so we wanted to try and push them off and get in and get our right hand side. So we pushed hard for it, just a little bit too hard. It was close, but I think we had to take that risk to get in there and give ourselves a chance. And actually, you saw the first cross we came back together, we were ever so slightly ahead, but we picked up a second penalty. Yeah, I think it's part of racing, isn't it? You take those decisions at the time. I think in the lighter stuff we've got to push hard. Yeah, it is, but I'm not the kind of person, and we're not the kind of team that's just going to sit there and not just let someone sail away from us. We're going to get stuck in, and if that means taking some risks, yeah, I'd rather race that way than just sit there and let someone sail away from you. I was really proud of the team, the boys on the boat, and everyone at the base. Our shore team in particular, working incredible hours to get the boat as perfect as it can be, and the designers and engineers working with us as sailors to try and eke maximum performance out of the boat. And so that was a really big race for the whole team, and it helps. It gives us some momentum going into tomorrow. It gives us some momentum, and we all know in sport momentum's a pretty powerful thing. I don't think that. I think it's it's a knockout competition. Ultimately you've got to win 7 races. Okay, they've won 5. They're going well, they're sailing well, and they perhaps have an edge on us in the lighter airs, but we're not going to throw the towel in, and that second race today proved that. We'll keep going all the way, and we'll make it as hard as we can and keep pushing and pushing and pushing.
They're going to keep pushing and they have momentum. So it will come down to the next race tomorrow and then the next race after that. Exactly as I said before, match racing is all about the next race and who can get it together and get their timing right, execute their start, keep their boat handling perfect to stay in front when it counts. So let's have a little bit of a look at the weather. I think now for tomorrow, I have this all lined up for you guys. They'll be out on course E again to continue complying with the COVID restrictions for level 2. You can see at race time here, we have 10 knots on the racetrack from that northeasterly direction, that sea breeze direction, coming straight down the track here. This is the PWG model. This is on Predict Wind. It's fantastic. PWE over here. This is where they were racing today. But it was coming from this direction. So 225 was the last race and 240. So out in this area, we will see them at the first race start time. It looks like this. And then at the second race start time, this is the first race start time, sorry. So this will be 11 knots or 11 knots. There we go. We have a consensus. And the direction's 350. And then 10 knots, 13 knots, and 11 knots. So pretty even there on the racetrack. I've just had a message that it'll probably be course A tomorrow, actually. So let's have a little bit of a look over there. Thank you to that amazing person who's involved with the America's Cup. I won't mention you just in case you're not meant to be telling me. So it'll be course A. Thank you for that live update over here, straight off Auckland. And that's great. That was a guess for course E. I was wrong. That's where they were today. So over here at the second race, 11 knots, 12 knots. That's the second race. If we go back to the first race, 11 knots and 11 knots with a direction of about, it's that northeasterly even. It's further in the north down here, just having a little bit of a look myself. I will be following that closely. We'll be back in the morning with our update. So make sure you tune in to see Tour direct from the village. Now, I must also apologise for my wet hair. Today around racing, I was really lucky. I had a pretty cool spot for my live broadcast. You can have a look on my story for where my live broadcast is. It was quite fun, actually. I pretty much stepped off my boat and got my laptop and opened it up and then sat next to the water watching my family go sailing on my boat during the day, which is pretty cool. So I thought I might share with you a little bit of a snippet of where I was today just before racing on the way back in. Yoo-hoo! Love surfing. If you didn't see my video from yesterday, we were doing 16 knots of boat speed today, not 40 like the F50s. That's a little bit different, but still great to be on the water. So a big thanks to all for the messages over the past few days. It's been a great few days and even better to be watching some AC racing. I'm very thankful they're out on the water and we can see they're settled out there. 5-1. What a day. So excited. I'm going to see you in the morning. Hopefully we can see it go one each way tomorrow, or who knows, maybe it'll be 2 to INEOS, or will it all be over if Luna, Rossa, Prada, Pirelli manage to take 2 in that 11 knots. It's right near that crossover period for INEOS Team UK, picking up their speed. I don't know what's going to happen, guys. What do you think? What do you think's going to happen? Now, also, I've remembered, yes, the competition for INEOS launching in race 4, the start of race 4. There's a competition for a Harken bag, the caption competition. I'm going to put up a vote, my favourite answer from Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. And you guys are going to vote, and whoever gets the top answer out of those 3 will win across all of the platforms. I've got to make it even across Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. See you tomorrow for our update. Remember, you can check us out on Clubhouse if you want to during the racing, or as always, you can catch us right here on Facebook, Adventures of a Sailor Girl. If you prefer Instagram, you can find us there as well, and there's different content going up there over the day, including stories from behind the scenes. On Twitter, I'm live tweeting the racing while I'm also commentating on Clubhouse, or you might be watching this on YouTube. If you are, welcome. Lovely to have you with us at Sailor Girl HQ is where it's at. My name's Nick Douglas. Thank you for joining us. This is your AC Chat and Rap Show. See you soon.